The FBI showed up during the Thanksgiving toast, right as my sister was about to announce her pregnancy. They walked straight past the carved turkey and the hand-painted place cards, badges out, voices calm but firm. Derek didn't run. He just stood there with his wine glass still raised, that smooth smile finally cracking at the edges. I wasn't there to see it in person. I was watching from a hot spring in Reykjavik, a shaky video sent by my cousin Emma with the message, "You need to see this." But let me back up, because the moment Derek got handcuffed in front of my grandmother wasn't random. It was calculated. And it started 3 months earlier, on a Tuesday afternoon when I was supposed to be reviewing disclosure documents for a real estate closing. I'm a real estate attorney, not the kind who advertises on benches or handles celebrity divorces. I do the boring work, the kind that keeps people from losing their houses over contract loopholes or title disputes. My sister Tori used to joke that I made paperwork sound like a personality trait. She wasn't entirely wrong. That Tuesday, I got a call from Mrs. Wu, one of my pro bono clients. She's 73, lives alone since her husband passed, and has the kind of quiet dignity that makes you want to protect her from every scam artist in a 50-mile radius. She wanted advice about an investment opportunity her granddaughter had recommended. Something about cryptocurrency and guaranteed returns. I asked her to send me the documents. What arrived in my inbox made my stomach drop. The fund was called Horizon Capital Ventures, registered in Delaware with a business address that turned out to be a UPS store. The promotional materials promised 12 to 15% annual returns with zero risk. The founder's bio included a photo that looked professionally airbrushed and a resume that name-dropped Stanford and Goldman Sachs without providing dates or verification. The founder's name was Derek Martinez, my sister's fiancé. I sat at my desk, staring at that photo for a long time. Same sharp jawline, same practiced smile, same eyes that never quite matched the warmth of his expression. Tori had been dating him for 8 months. They'd gotten engaged 6 weeks ago at some Instagram-perfect beach in Malibu, and my mother had cried actual tears of joy because Tori was finally settling down with someone successful. I pulled Derek's business registration documents. Horizon Capital had been incorporated 7 months ago, which meant he'd started this fund around the time he started dating my sister. I cross-referenced the business partners listed on the filing. 2 of them had LinkedIn profiles that hadn't been updated in 3 years. One didn't exist at all outside of this single document. Then I found the investor agreement Mrs. Wu had signed. Buried in the fine print was a clause that gave Derek complete discretion over how funds were allocated, with no external audit requirement and no redemption rights for the first 2 years. In plain English, once you gave him your money, it was his to do whatever he wanted with, and you couldn't get it back. I called Mrs. Wu and told her not to transfer any money yet. Then I called Tori. She answered on the 4th ring, her voice bright and distracted. "Hey, what's up? I'm at Pilates, can this be quick? I need to talk to you about Derek." A pause. "Okay, what about him?" "His investment fund, Horizon Capital. Have you seen the structure of it?" "Oh my God, Madison." I could hear the shift in her tone, from casual to defensive. "Are you seriously doing this right now?" "Doing what?" "Investigating my fiancé like he's some kind of criminal. I knew you'd find a way to ruin this." "Tori, I'm not trying to ruin anything. I'm trying to protect you. And protect a 73-year-old woman who's about to hand over her life savings based on your recommendation." "Mrs. Wu contacted you?" Her voice went cold. "Did you tell her not to invest?" "I told her to wait until I could review the documents more carefully." "You had no right to do that. Derek's fund is legitimate. He has investors all over the state. Just because you don't understand how crypto works doesn't mean it's a scam." "Tori, this has nothing to do with crypto. This is about a fund structure designed to give one person complete control over other people's money with zero accountability. That's not an investment. That's a Ponzi scheme waiting to happen." She hung up on me. 20 minutes later, my mother called. No hello, no warm-up, just straight into it. "What did you say to your sister?" I explained everything. The fund structure, the unverifiable business partners, the redemption clauses, the fact that Derek had started this fund the same month he started dating Tori, which meant he might have targeted her specifically for access to our family's network. My mother listened in silence. Then she said, "Madison, I think you're letting your professional paranoia get in the way of your sister's happiness. This isn't paranoia. This is pattern recognition. Derek is a successful entrepreneur. Tori is finally in a stable relationship. And you're looking for problems because you can't stand to see her happy. That stung more than I expected. I'm trying to protect her." "No, you're trying to control her. You've always done this. Ever since Dad died, you've acted like you're the only one who knows what's best for everyone. But Tori is an adult. She doesn't need you to save her. Even if I'm right? You're not right. You're jealous." She hung up too. I sat there in my office with the phone still pressed to my ear, listening to the dial tone. Outside my window, people were walking their dogs and buying coffee and living lives that didn't include watching their family choose a con artist over the truth. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Mrs. Wu signing that agreement, about my grandmother's savings sitting in a bank account that Derek probably already knew the balance of. I thought about Tori's Instagram posts showing off her engagement ring, the comments full of heart emojis and congratulations. I thought about my mother's voice saying jealous like it was a diagnosis. The next morning, I did what I should have done from the beginning. I filed a complaint with the SEC. Anonymous, detailed, with every document I'd found attached. Then I sent a separate report to the FBI's Financial Crimes Division because the fund's structure suggested possible wire fraud and elder abuse. I didn't tell anyone. Not Tori, not my mother, not even Emma, who would have understood but might have tried to talk me out of it. I just submitted the reports and went back to work, closing real estate deals and reviewing title insurance like my world hadn't shifted an inch to the left. 2 weeks later, Emma called me. "Hey, so I just got the invite for Thanksgiving. Are you going?" "What Thanksgiving?" "Tori's thing. At that resort in Sedona. She said it's a family retreat to celebrate her engagement." I hadn't received an invite. I checked my email, my mailbox, even my spam folder. Nothing. "Maybe it got lost," Emma said, though her voice suggested she knew that wasn't true. I texted Tori. "Emma mentioned Thanksgiving plans. Am I invited?" 3 hours later, she replied. "It's kind of a couples thing. Derek wanted to keep it intimate. You understand." I stared at that message for a long time. You understand. Like my exclusion was reasonable. Like I was supposed to smile and nod while my family gathered without me to celebrate the man I'd reported to federal authorities. I didn't argue. I didn't call my mother to complain. I just opened my laptop and searched for flights to Iceland. The ticket was expensive, non-refundable, departing 3 days before Thanksgiving and returning a week later. I booked it anyway, along with a small guest house near Vic with a view of the black sand beaches. Then I went back to work and waited. The SEC works slowly. The FBI works even slower. But they work thoroughly, and once they start pulling threads, they don't stop until the whole thing unravels. I landed in Reykjavik on a gray morning that felt like being inside a cloud. The air was cold and sharp and tasted like salt. I picked up my rental car and drove south along the coast, past waterfalls that appeared out of nowhere and fields of volcanic rock that looked like the surface of a different planet. At the guest house, the owner greeted me in cheerful English and pointed out the hot tub on the back deck. "Best view of the northern lights," she said. "You picked a good week." I didn't tell her I'd picked this week because I couldn't stand to be in Arizona while my family pretended I didn't exist. That first night, I sat in the hot tub alone, steam rising around me, the sky dark and enormous overhead. I checked Instagram once. Tori had posted a photo of the resort, all rustic wood and floor-to-ceiling windows, with the caption, "Grateful for family and new beginnings." 47 comments, all variations of gorgeous and so happy for you. I turned off my phone and watched the sky. No northern lights yet, just stars scattered like broken glass. The next day, I drove to the black sand beach at Reynisfjara. The waves were massive, crashing against the rocks with enough force to make the ground vibrate. A sign warned tourists not to turn their backs on the ocean. "Sneaker waves," it said. They come out of nowhere. I thought about Derek's smooth explanations, his confidence, the way he made risky investments sound like gifts he was offering. I thought about my mother calling me jealous. I thought about Tori's text, "You understand." I took a photo of the empty beach, the black sand, the furious ocean, posted it to my Instagram story with no caption. Within an hour, Tori had viewed it. So had my mother. Neither of them messaged me. On Thanksgiving morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls. The first voicemail was from Emma. Madison, oh my God, you need to call me back right now. The second was from my mother, her voice shaking. Madison, where are you? We need you. Please call me back. The third was from Tori, crying so hard I could barely understand her. They took him. They just took him. I don't know what's happening. I made coffee in the small kitchen of the guest house, my hand steady, and listened to the rest of the messages. My aunt, my uncle, even my grandmother, all asking where I was, all asking if I knew anything. Then Emma's text came through. I'm sending you a video. I don't know if you want to see this, but I thought you should know. The video was shaky, filmed from someone's phone at a weird angle. I could see the resort's dining room, the long table set with autumn decorations, candles, a massive turkey at the center. My family was gathered around, glasses raised for a toast. Derek stood at the head of the table, one arm around Tori, mid-sentence about gratitude and new chapters. Then, the door opened. 3 people in FBI windbreakers walked in. One of them said Derek's full name and date of birth, asked him to confirm his identity. Derek's face went blank. Tori looked confused, then terrified. My mother actually stood up and demanded to know what was happening. Sir, you're under arrest for wire fraud, securities fraud, and conspiracy to commit elder abuse. You have the right to remain silent. They put handcuffs on him right there, in front of the whole family, in front of the untouched turkey and my grandmother's good china. Tori was screaming. My mother was demanding to speak to a lawyer. Derek just stood there, his face empty, like a mask had fallen off and there was nothing underneath. The video ended with the FBI agents walking Derek out of the room, Tori collapsing into a chair, and my aunt asking if anyone knew how to reach me. I watched the video 3 times. Then I made a fresh cup of coffee, put on my warmest coat, and walked down to the beach. The northern lights came out that night, green and white, moving across the sky like living things. I sat in the hot tub and watched them dance, my phone buzzing endlessly in my pocket. I didn't answer, not yet. The messages kept coming. My mother, increasingly frantic. Madison, please, Tori won't eat, she won't talk to anyone. We don't know what to do. My aunt, your sister needs you right now. Whatever happened between you two, she needs you. Even my grandmother, who never sent texts, managed to type out, "Where are you, child? Come home." But the message that made me finally respond came 2 days later. From Tori. Just 3 words. You were right. I stared at that message for a long time. The sky outside was that strange blue-gray that passed for daylight in late November in Iceland. I'd spent the morning hiking to a glacier, the afternoon reading in a cafe that served the best hot chocolate I'd ever tasted. I'd been alone for 5 days. And for the first time in years, I wasn't tired. I typed back slowly. I tried to tell you. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Then, I know. I'm sorry. I should have listened. Can you come home? Please. I looked out the window at the volcanic landscape, at the steam rising from the hot springs in the distance. I thought about the resort in Sedona, about Tori crying over a man who'd planned to steal from our grandmother. I thought about my mother's voice calling me jealous. I typed, I hope you're okay. I hope you get the help you need. But I'm not coming back to fix this. Madison, please. Mom can't handle this alone. I can't handle this alone. We need you. There it was. We need you. Not we were wrong. Not we're sorry we excluded you. Not thank you for trying to protect us. Just we need you. I turned off my phone and walked back to the guest house. The owner was in the kitchen making tea. She smiled when she saw me. Northern lights again tonight, I think. You should stay up. I will, I said. That night, I sat on the deck with a blanket wrapped around my shoulders and watched the sky turn green and purple and white. My phone stayed off. The lights danced. The world turned without me. I extended my trip another week, then another. I told my law firm I was taking the personal time I'd never used. They said take as long as you need. I drove the ring road, stopped at waterfalls and hot springs and tiny towns with populations under 50. I ate fish, stew, and rye bread, and drank coffee strong enough to strip paint. I hiked glaciers and climbed into ice caves and stood at the edge of cliffs where the wind tried to push me back, and slowly, I started to feel like myself again. Not the version who stayed late at the office to review contracts nobody else wanted to touch. Not the version who answered every family crisis call at 2 a.m. Just me, alone, in a country where nobody needed anything from me except maybe directions to the bathroom. 3 weeks after Thanksgiving, Emma called. I answered this time. "Are you ever coming back?" she asked. Eventually, Tori's a mess. Derek's in federal custody. They found evidence of 12 other victims, including Mrs. Wu. She almost lost everything, but she didn't lose it? No, because you filed that report. The FBI froze his accounts before he could move the money offshore. They told our family that an anonymous tip saved them from a much bigger disaster. I didn't say anything. Madison, they know it was you. Tori figured it out. She's not angry, she's grateful. She wants to talk to you. What about Mom? A long pause. Mom is processing. She feels guilty. She said some things she regrets. Like calling me jealous? Yeah, like that. I watched a bird land on the deck railing, small and gray with bright eyes. It tilted its head at me, curious but not afraid. "Tell them I'm glad everyone's okay," I said. "Tell them I'll be home when I'm ready." "But Emma, I need you to understand something. I'm not coming back to be the person who fixes everything. I'm not coming back to be the backup plan or the safety net. If they want me in their lives, it has to be because they value me, not because they need me." "I get it," Emma said quietly. "For what it's worth, I think you're doing the right thing. Thanks. The northern lights really as beautiful as everyone says?" I looked up at the sky, already starting to shift from gray to dark blue. "More beautiful," I said. "You should come visit. Maybe I will." We hung up. I made dinner, just soup and bread, and ate slowly, watching the darkness settle over the landscape. My phone buzzed with messages. Tori, asking if we could FaceTime. My mother, saying she understood if I needed time. My grandmother, sending a single emoji of a heart. I didn't respond to any of them, not out of cruelty, but out of self-preservation. Because for the first time in my life, I wasn't jumping to make other people comfortable. I wasn't smoothing over hurt feelings or fixing problems I didn't create. I was just sitting in a small guest house in Iceland, eating soup, waiting for the northern lights. And when they came, spilling across the sky in ribbons of green and white, I didn't take a photo. I didn't post to Instagram. I just watched, alone and at peace, knowing I'd chosen myself over their comfort. And that was the best choice I'd ever made. I did eventually go home. But not because they needed me. Because I was ready. And when I walked into my apartment in Portland, it felt different. Like I'd grown too big for the old space, and needed to find a new one. Tori and I talked, eventually. Not right away, but months later, after she'd started therapy and stopped posting inspirational quotes about resilience on Instagram. She apologized. Really apologized, not the "you understand" kind. And I forgave her, because anger is exhausting, and I was done being exhausted. My mother took longer. She wanted me to say it was fine, that I understood, that family is complicated. I didn't give her that. I told her that calling me jealous instead of listening to me was cruel, and that excluding me from Thanksgiving because I inconveniently told the truth was worse. She cried. I didn't comfort her, but we got there, slowly, with boundaries I hadn't known I was allowed to set. Mrs. Wu got her money back. The FBI recovered most of Derek's fraudulent gains and returned them to the victims. She sent me a card with a pressed flower inside and a note that said, "Thank you for listening to an old woman's intuition." I kept the card on my desk, next to a photo I'd finally printed from Iceland. An empty hot tub on a deck, steam rising, the northern lights blurred in the background. A reminder that sometimes the best view is from a distance, and sometimes choosing yourself is the bravest thing you can do. Derek got 7 years. The judge called it a betrayal of trust. Tori didn't attend the sentencing. Neither did I. We were both done giving him our time. And on the next Thanksgiving, I didn't go home. I booked another trip, this time to Norway, and spent the holiday alone in a cabin with a wood stove and a view of the fjords. I made soup, I read books, I watched the sky change colors, and when my phone buzzed with messages from my family, I read them, smiled at the ones that mattered, and then put the phone away, because I'd learned something important in Iceland. I'd learned that peace isn't something you find when everyone finally treats you right. It's something you choose when you stop waiting for them to.